Hey Nymfria, welcome back to another team selection video. I don't have anyone in tonight's game, so I'm looking ahead to the bumper boosting double game week that is game week 36 and time to use my bench boost finally. If you're loving the content, then please do drop a like. Let's try hit 60 likes on this video. That would be amazing. Do pop me a comment below. Are you using any chips in game week 36? If so, which ones? Lastly, if you're new to the channel, then please do subscribe. Okay, let's get after this. First off, how I got on in game week 35. Ramsdale came in after a short stint on my bench and I should have kept him there to be honest, as Dubravka far outscored him despite conceding the same amount of goals as him. Can you actually believe it? My defence was mostly good, Cancelo and Robson offering no attacking returns but at least getting some clean sheets. Cancelo just missing out on all 6 after getting a yellow card. And Robertson, is he a possible rotation risk now after Trent getting his rest against Newcastle? We'll have to wait and see on that one. Alonso wasn't able to get anything other than 1 point after his heroics last week. In midfield, Saka ticked away again with a little assist, though it's clear he's managing an injury, which concerns me for the double a little bit. I think the North London derby will be the priority, so I'm not sure how many minutes he'll get against Leeds, but hopefully he starts. Anything after that will be a bonus. Mount was doing great until I bought him, and then the posters denied him any returns in the last 2 game weeks in a row. If I had the transfers to spare this week, he'd probably go for me, and I'm still considering it. I was gutted when Kulu didn't start, however he came on and changed the game, grabbing 2 assists. Hopefully that makes him nailed for the double now. However, I'd much prefer he was assisting Kane instead of Son. Just a little note to you there, Kulu. Salah didn't start, not really surprising, it was coming. He looked dangerous when he came on though. He was unlucky not to score a one-on-one, but that's hopeful for the double and potential captaincy options. Up front, I played Weghorst, who was hooked really early for just the 1 point. Not great, probably an easy sell now. I made one change for game week 35. I knew that I didn't want to keep Werner long term. He was just in for the double last game week, and I really wanted to get Jesus, but it meant just not leaving any money at all in the bank for my bench boost. So I was flip-flopping between Richarlison and Nketiah, Pukki and Watkins. I landed on Watkins in the end and thankfully got a return over Werner for 9 points. The only other one to have gone for in that list was Richarlison. Unfortunately, Richarlison does have a much better fixture in the double compared to Watkins. A little bit frustrating there, but hey ho, it is what it is now. And potentially leaves me a bit more flexibility on when I use my free hit. And lastly, Kane was back with the goal as my captain. I switched my captain Friday evening from Salah to Kane. I wanted to try and go for it this game week, about trying to push on now and gain as much rank as I can, and I feel lucky that it paid off in this particular instance. All of that means I'm on 50 points. It's a small green arrow to 46,638. Son was a big hurt on my rank. Really need to think about whether I need to try and squeeze him in. Nice to be inside the top 50k though, absolutely buzzing that I made it so close to the end of the season. That said, I'm not too sure how long I'll be there. I'm very aware I have to make some big hits for my bench boost, so I can only hope to be back inside it after game week 36. Only could have done better by bringing Dubravka in instead of Ramsdale with 7 points on the bench. Apart from that, my bench was a bit poor with Davies, Gordon and Shah all unable to do something. With that, let's have a look at how I'm currently lined up for the bumper double game week in 36 and it's bench boost time. Before I get into that, just to let you know, I am running a competition to win a watch on my social media channels, so do head on over to them. The links are in the description below and check that out on how to enter. Okay, this is how the bus team looks. As you can see, I have Weghorst, Shah and Dubravka who all have single game week fixtures, so I'm going to take at least a -8 hit to go for it on my bench boost and get rid of these players. What helps with this hit is that Weghorst was hooked early in game week 35, meaning he can be again if he's having a bad performance. Shah went off early with an injury in the last match, meaning that he may not even play. And even if he does, both him and Dubravka have City, who you'd expect to be going for it at this point to try and clinch the title. So I think it's worth trading them all out for a chance of a few more games with some double game week players. So my initial plan is Vegas to Nketiah or Pukki, Shah to Laporte, and Dubravka to Foster, Schmeichel or Pickford for a -8. I have the exact cash for Nketiah, Laporte and Schmeichel, meaning that if I want those, may have to go for Matip instead of Laporte by the time we get to the weekend, as I may not be able to afford it, especially as I quite like to see through the midweek fixtures. With me taking so many hits, not sure I want to risk taking any early transfers at this point and then needing to take more hits closer to the weekend. So that's the safe route, if you will. It covers off double City defence or double Liverpool defence. The Batchisel route, of course, is a -12, and it's Weghorst to Nketiah, Mount to Foden, Shah to Laporte or Matip, and Dubravka to Foster if going with Laporte, or maybe even Krul, or if going with Matip, then Schmeichel or Pickford. I was hoping to have a bit more of a buffer going into Game Week 36. I'm not going to lie, I was hoping I may be a little higher in OR so that I could take a -12. Son seen that to bed. He made sure that I couldn't do that. So really flip-flopping now on whether I want to really go for the -12 because that's a big hit. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Would you go attack with Foden and go for a -12, or would you go defense with a -8? I'm not sure when I'm free hitting yet. I think I'll decide after the double. If I get Schmeichel or Pickford this week, then I'll have 3 doublers in 36. I could then potentially get to 5 with a -4, which actually feels okay with good singlers around them. And I also like being able to load up in the final game week on players that could hurt my rank, players like Son, for instance. That said, a bad game week in double game week 36 could see me just hitting the free hit button in 37, loading up on double game week players and absolutely going for it. What I like about it though is it gives me some flexibility on choosing when to do that. It'll be one of these two plans unless I genuinely have a panic about not owning Son. If I'd like to do that, the only way I can do it is a -12, and it means losing Kane, which I'm not too sure about doing ahead of the North London derby. However, it's something I do seriously need to think about because it is always a good idea to have some of the golden boot chasers in your team this close to the end of the season. Captaincy at the moment is on Salah. I am choosing between him and Kane, neither of which have great fixtures. That's where I suppose people who are free hitting this week will have the advantage because they'll be able to put it on the likes of KDB, which is a really nice captaincy option this week. But for me, it'll be between Salah and Kane. It all will just depend on how Salah looks in those midweek fixtures. Okay, heading on to the trending transfers, and these are the players popular this week. Jesus looking great again, obviously the great double, so that looks good for a prime option forward there. Nketiah also being a great player to enable other players. Richarlison, great fixtures in the double. Alonso, maybe he's had his day, maybe not. I can see why people are going for him. Dennis, again, another cheap enabler like Nketiah. Reguilon out, obviously injured. Tony, I guess, making way for double game week players. Brozier the same. Also, he seems to be getting mixed minutes at the minute, which isn't great. It's not what you want. Cody, again, I would assume making way for double game week players. And Livramento, of course, is injured. But just to point out how many times has Sonny made it into the Kings of the Game Week now. Look at that, 3 times. That's absolutely crazy. And that's it. Thanks for watching, you guys. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Have a great week, but for now, please check out the sponsors of this video, Fantasy Football Fix. Don't forget to head on over to my social media channels to get signed up for your chance to win that watch in my competition. Until next time, Nymfria out.